forward here. We'll run the AI. All right. Okay. So today's going to be more focused on marketing, where last week or 2 weeks ago it was sales. So we are going to talk about ad anatomy. So building out your ad. But as I was working on this yesterday and just going through, which I'll show you the recipe for this or the anatomy of it, because I'm learning it to actually write ads, right? Actually write meta ads. However, I was thinking, how can I really make this apply to people that aren't running ads right now? And so one of the things I was working on was just flipping over to Instagram stories and recording myself go through all these steps that I'm going to show you. And then you can keep it or not. It's only there for a day, so it's like it might be great, it might be terrible, but it's gone. But it's just practice. The other thing, and we're going to go through this case in a moment, was that I met a new person at dinner last night. I was out, and a friend of a friend, and she said, "Oh, what do you do?" I said, "I'm a physical therapist." Well, she immediately starts telling me about her back pain with lifting weights and how she doesn't know what she did. She couldn't no longer lift weights or whatever. And she thought this was like death sentence to lifting weights, right? And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to use this whole framework. And I'm going to talk to her. Hey, Brandon, we can see you. I'm going to talk to her about, like, take her through. I'm going to sell her on this process, like what I can do for her. And it was really fun because I just felt very clear-headed of like where to direct her, right? Like not just all over the place. So we are going to go through this framework. This is our ad anatomy. Can y'all see me? Can y'all hear me when I'm back here?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so number one, this is not right. Number one is going to be pain points. So this is for any kind of advertising, right? However, in our case, it is literal pain. It is literally a pain point. I was like, this is so applicable because we were dealing with people that like are like, my elbow hurts, my neck hurts, so like we can identify their pain point and acknowledge it. Like give it like, I hear you. Oh, so you're telling me your back hurt. Oh, your elbow hurts. Like really allow them to know what you're talking about, but also that's in a conversation. However, if you're like talking to the phone, creating an ad, I want you to think about, what do you like treating? Like, what's your favorite thing to treat, Carrie? Oh, what was that? Oh, your audio's off.
I muted it in case there's any weird noises in my background.
What's your favorite thing to treat?
Back.
Back
Yeah.
pain. Yeah. So mine too. And I would say, hey, do you have back pain? Because I'm not in the conversation, right? I'm just talking forward. So if I'm recording an ad, hey, do you have back pain? That's the pain point. That's where I'm acknowledging. And then number two, so we'll put back pain here. It's going to be connect. So that's experience it. So like, how is it? So the connection would be like, how is that affecting you? Hey, do you have back pain? And when you come home from work every day, hey, do you have back pain that drains you so you can't play with your kids when you get home? Do you have back pain that keeps you from working out? So that's how you're going to connect it, is that experience, like how it really, like plays in like what they're actually losing by the literal pain. Are you raising your hand, Brandon? Nope, you're just waving. You're just waving down the road. Okay, so that's going to be our connection. So that would be experience. So in this case, let's just say that they can't lift weights, like I was saying. So back pain, can't lift. In her case, I really think there was a fear. I think there was a fear of lifting because she did it and then she immediately got pain and felt like I can no longer work out because to work out, I have to lift weights. To lift weights, it has to hurt my back, right? So she had an actual fear of it. Okay, so the next step is going to be, this is for you. So why is this for you? You want to explain it. This is where I would caution us, right? This is for you because sometimes you get anterior instability and when you bend down, it pulls on XYZ and your erector spinae. Don't stop it. Like, just stop it. That's me, right? Explaining it. So explain it quickly. I think an explanation for this one could be, I can teach you how to lift weights safely. Or, maybe if you're just talking into that, hey, do you have back pain and you can't lift? Physical therapy can help you. Don't explain how it can help you. We're going to get there. We're going to be, as Shania's example from the sales girls is, we are not teachers. We are tour guides. We are not trying to teach them about their pathology right now. We are trying to sell them on a service. You're going to make them a tour guide. You want them to experience the benefits of physical therapy, which we're going to get to. But first, you have to show them that they're a candidate for this. So be careful here on your explanation. So I think like even just saying, yeah, physical therapy can help that because like how many conversations do you have where people are like, I didn't know physical therapy could help that every day, all day long. So PT can help. All right. So now we are going to go to the payoff. So this is the important part of the tour, right? Because you want to know what's in it for them. Like they need to visualize, like cast a vision of how this can help them. So that's going to be payoff. So a payoff for this patient would be that they're able to start working out again, that they're able to lose those last few pounds because they're moving again, that they can not be afraid of moving and working out, right? That's where you want them to see. You don't want them to see the process. You want them to experience the result and picture themselves in there, right? Which is like any coaching, like, hey, you could win this state. You could win state. You could win this game. You could make this team, right? Yeah, it's gonna like we don't need to explain all the steps that get you there. You just need to know that I'm the one that can do it, right? So the payoff for this one could be return to lifting. Which I knew that was important to her because it's literally the first thing she said. She was like, yeah, I wanted to lift weights and now I can't because it's back. And it's like, oh, but you can. Like you really can. Because physical therapy can help. I can get you to return to lifting. I would love to help you with this, right? Yeah. So that's where you're getting your yeses. So the next thing after this is you're getting yeses. Like, I can help you return to lifting. Doesn't that sound good? Wouldn't you like confidence in the weight room? You literally want them to nod as you're telling them this. I can come to you. Wouldn't that be great? She's a teacher, right? Yes. Like, let's make this convenient. This is where I really like, I feel like you can kind of show your personality here and you can like get them like a little bit of experience of what it's going to be like working with them. Because you can ask them like really specific, like, wouldn't you love to be able to stand? Like I asked her, I was like, is it hard for you to stand all day because you're a teacher? But wouldn't you like that to be easier? Wouldn't you like to be able to move without worrying about, oh, I'm going to move this way and it's going to hurt? And it was like, yes, 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 I would. Okay. So for her, that would be like a wouldn't you like kind of thing. Or doesn't that sound good? Wouldn't that be fun? You could get really creative with this one. Because this is where I treat a lot of like adolescent athletes. Wouldn't it be so fun if you were the fastest one on the field? Wouldn't it be so fun if you could hit that ball farther? Yes, like that is where we're connecting, right? So now you're going to go to a story. It is not about you. They do not care. Don't tell them about you. Don't do it. This is my like biggest problem, right? Like, Kelly, stop it. So in this case, back pain, can't lift. I'm afraid. Oh, physical therapy can help you. Wouldn't you love, like, you can get back to lifting. Wouldn't that be great? Let me tell you about Shania. And she started lifting and doing it incorrectly, and she hurt her back. And I treated her for 4 weeks. Now she has her own program, and she just calls me when she needs me. That's the kind of story. Don't tell them about you. Don't tell them about how your back hurt. They do not care. They want to see something that like actually like you like outside of you, right? They want to put themselves as that patient. And if it's you standing there, like forward facing to them, even in the phone, they're just seeing you talk about you. They're not picturing themselves in your shoes. So when you tell them a story about someone else, they can imagine that that's them, right? Okay. And so the very last thing, and this is so important, I'm going to write former patient under story. Is your call to action. This is rubber meets the road. If you don't have a call to action, you just have good PR. Like you don't have any money. There's nothing to put in your pocket. So in the case last night, we went through all of this and I said, hey, here's my card. I would love for you to reach out and let's book a visit. Now, it's up to her if she's going to do that, right? I think there's a stronger call to action when you're digital because it's actually a button you can click. Where if it's a card in your hand, sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. But like, I'm going to click on it and I'm going to kind of poke around a little bit. Oh, it's a free call. Okay, yeah, I can do that. I can do that free call, right? But this could be anything. This could be to get more information. This could be to book a call. Ultimately, you want them to book a visit, right? Where they actually get paid. But even on our Jane now I haven't activated it for everybody, but there's a entry console or like discovery call and it's 15-minute call and anyone who wants me to turn it on for them, they can. But that way, if you did this call to action digitally and then they said, oh, I would like to do that and then find their provider, that could be your call to action. But this is important. So this is like how you actually make money. So book. You want them to book. So that is going to be your ad anatomy. So in this case, it's, hey, are you suffering from back pain? Are you afraid to lift weights because of previous injury? Did you know physical therapy can help? I would love to help you return to lifting without fear and have a strong weight program. Wouldn't you like that? Wouldn't you like to move without fear? Wouldn't you like to have less worry about throwing your back out? Wouldn't you like to be able to pick up your kids without being scared you're going to hurt yourself? Let me tell you the story about Shania, who I worked with for 4 weeks. And she hurt herself lifting like yourself. And she now has a program where she can strengthen her back, but also in a warm-up program. But so I like to like share the tools that they have. So like she has a warm-up program and she has education on the condition. So now she can go and lift and she's not afraid. She knows what to do if something happens. She can call me, but really she's independent in that. I would love to book that visit for you. I would love to talk to you about that condition. So that's kind of the ad anatomy. That's how that goes. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Do y'all can I answer any questions? We're gonna do another. We're gonna do an exercise about it in just a second. But can I answer any questions over any of these?
I have one. So
Yeah.
with the business card, what did she say then? Did she have a rebuttal or what was her response when you handed
No,
her
she
the
just said, yeah, I'll definitely reach out. We'll see.
Okay, that's good. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Like
Yeah.
I'm just curious if there was any other exchange. So like what if you gave her and she's like, let's talk about like objection. So like say someone's like you give them their business card and they're like, I'm already going to a chiropractor. Then what would we say?
Yeah. And she said, I'm going to chiropractic. I would say, how's that working for you? Are you getting better?
Still have my back pain.
Yeah. I would love to help you eliminate it and give you tools where you can treat yourself. So that can go
I
like
like
that can
that.
go on and
I
go on,
just think
right?
that's one point where I personally sometimes struggle if they're like, I'm already doing it. I'm like,
And I
well,
would say, well, it's probably not any good. It's like kind of like what I have to stop myself from saying. Instead, I have to be like, what do you think about it? What all tools? What's working? What's not working? Is it a good experience? Just because there's going doesn't mean that it's working or that they even like it, you know?
yeah, thank
Yeah.
you.
But so another call to action I'm thinking too is like, what if I said, can I have your number and I'll give you a call after school tomorrow? Like that would be a stronger call to action than just handing that out. Because if you have a definite plan, it's just like showing the 2 pages of the programs, of the packages. So I'm holding up 2 hands because we have 2 pages, right? And I wrote it all over myself. So like to be able to show that to them is much stronger than, and Brandon helped me with this, it's much stronger than like, oh, we can do this package of 6 and this one of 8 and this one of 10, and you get 9% reduction, and this one is X amount, and this one's this amount, and this is like, no, like show them something. That's a stronger call to action, even though you already have them in there for initial eval. Obviously, you're trying to get them to continue that care. So that would be a stronger call to action.
That's great. Thank you.
Yes. Okay, so we're gonna do another one. And I'm gonna have y'all just like call out things for it.
I gotta run here in just a second.
Okay, we'll record the rest, Brandon. Thanks for hopping on.
Yes.
Bye. Okay. So, Shania and Carrie, what do y'all want your pain point to be?
Did you call me out?
Both of y'all. Whatever you want. What's your pain point?
Left groin pain.
Okay.
Or hip pain, whatever you want to put. But I feel like groin pain is more common lately.
I mean, that's probably more of like a, because you also want to make it like in 3rd grade level language too. So that probably is like, they're probably likely going to say hip, right?
Yep.
Okay. All right. And so with connect, the other thing I have under here is like the pain point is your acknowledge. So that's your acknowledge, you're calling it out. And then the connection is going to be experience it. Okay, so how would you go from hip pain to connection? How do they experience it? So that might be something that they're missing out on, something that they want to do, something that's painful. Like they're probably going to tell you, like just in conversation is, yeah, I have hip pain when I run, or I have hip pain, something like that. So what would be your connection?
I think like when I sit for longer than 30 minutes in a work call.
Yeah. So prolonged sitting.
Carrie, you can hop in too. I don't need to take off.
No, you're fine.
And like if it's in person, I would want to know, are you on calls a lot? Like, is that a whole lot of your day? But if I'm just advertising myself, like on Instagram or something, I'm probably just going to say, do you have hip pain that's flaring up when you're sitting on long work calls, or when you're sitting for over 30 minutes, or just when you're sitting? Do you stand up from sitting a long time and have hip pain? That's how you could like connect both of those. Okay. And so this is for you. That's going to be your explanation. So remember, this is the one that I said, be careful, don't overeducate. Make sure I get it. Yeah. So don't overeducate. But what would you say? Why is this for him? Why is physical therapy for him?
PT can help your hip pain so you can make it through your workday meetings.
Yeah, I mean, I think that like for our field, and maybe I need to be more creative, but I think this is for you, can always be PT can help. Physical therapy can help you. Yeah. So PT can help. You already went here, Carrie, payoff, make it through the day without pain. So the payoff is going to also be to visualize it. So really picture it. So make this real specific. This is different for everybody because not everybody like cares about that. Like that's somebody who's, probably pretty sedentary. When you talk to like an active mom, she only cares about when I'm putting my kids to bed, I need to be able to stand up without limping after sitting there with them. Or if an athlete, when I play a soccer game, or when I'm sitting at school all day and then I go to soccer practice, I don't want my hip to hurt, right? And so that would be next to get your yeses. And so that's how you're getting agreement, you're getting head nods. So how would y'all get yeses here?
Wouldn't you like to enjoy your day without pain?
Yeah, absolutely. Wouldn't you like that? Doesn't that sound good? Yeah. Wouldn't you like, how would you like, that kind of thing, rather than saying, I would love to help you, like put it back on them so they feel like some kind of interaction to you. They feel like, yeah. I mean, do y'all do that? Like I've been listening to podcasts and books in the car because I'm always in the car. And I'll be driving down the road. Yeah, that's right. That's right. And I'm like, oh, this is a good podcast because I'm like so in it now, like I'm responding. And even in an ad on your phone, right, or a story, you want them to have some kind of emotional response, like, oh, you really hit that note because you like made me, you put it back on me because I was like, yeah, that would be nice. I'm tired of this problem. Like, I think it's time. That's kind of for me too. It's kind of that shift of like, there's the, I know it's a problem. I should do something about it. I'm researching what I should do. It's a problem. And then there's that last of like, okay, I'm actually acting on it, right? We do it with everything. We do it with
Yeah.
absolutely everything. Any kind of decision that we're trying to make, I'm sure there's some kind of formal like step that is. Yeah, so you're getting agreement. And so then your story. So that's going to be share it. And this you could get creative and hopefully you can think of one right on the spot. So what would be your story that you're going to share with them to pull all that together to make them picture being in those shoes?
I put together a, timer kind of program on one of my patients' phones, so they're getting it more frequently so that they feel more productive during their work meetings versus focusing on their left hip pain.
And I would even, you know what I'm thinking?
Too long?
But I would even think one of my patients uses a timer to make sure they're not sitting too long. We worked on that during their visits while I treated them. Like, because you said I worked with, which I mean is correct, but like
But
I immediately was looking at you. But when you said one of my patients, I'm like, oh, what was that patient like? What was that experience like? You know what I mean? It just kind of like shifted it just a little bit. So yeah, so previous stories. So we'll say a patient uses a timer, whatever that is, right?
Mhm.
Then let's do two different call to actions. Let's say, what's your call to action? This is your act on it. If you're in person talking. And then I also want, let's think of a call to action if you're doing something on like digitally recording. So what would
Like,
be in person call to action? They can be the same, I guess, too.
I would ask for their email right away and just be like, hey, I'd love to send you more information. Like, what's a good email address
Oh,
for
that's a
you?
good idea. Can I have your email? So
I
then,
like the idea of you saying about the phone because then you're in the driver's seat.
right, you want to be in the driver. Yeah. So like I really should have said, hey, text me your number. Yeah. Can I have an email? I also know I can chase her down because she lives here. She's kind of a friend. Can I have your email? So that's a great in-person one. So how would you say that if you were recording yourself on all this?
You could send them your right to your landing page, what do you call that? The URL.
Yes. So you would have to decide how you're going to do that. Is it click on the button in my bio, link in bio? Is it DM me back pain? That kind of thing. Because you can set up where it's directly DM messages, like that's what you're going for. So you just have to be very clear, how are they getting there? Because they want to act on it. But in your case, because you have your Instagram set up, you could say, click the link in my bio and fill out the form because you have a form on there. So you can put in that underneath that bio, that last line, you can have links. And that's where I would put, Carrie, I don't know if you have it yet, but like I would put your landing page link and then you could also put your booking page link. So you could work that either way. You could send them to click my booking page link and schedule a consult call, or click my website and fill out a form. Either one of those, right? Yeah, so it could
You're
be
still getting their info, what you want.
right.
Otherwise, it's like the click is useless, right?
Yeah. It's like handing out a business card you don't know if they're going to do anything with.
Stop that. It's a friend of a friend. You can't be two, you know?
Yeah. Awesome. So if I was recording this, if I was on my stories and I would say, hey, have you ever had hip pain? Do you have a hard time sitting throughout the day at work? Did you know physical therapy can help you? I would love for you to finish your workday without pain and not have to worry about it. Wouldn't you like that? Wouldn't that be nice to not have to worry about how long you've been sitting because when you stand up, it hurts? Wouldn't it be nice to have some tools that you can use to treat yourself? Let me tell you about my patient, Carrie, who sits all day and she learned to use a timer to get up and move around, and it is helping her with her hip pain. Wouldn't you like for that to be you? What have you, or then I would say, I got distracted on these two. And so then I would say, click the link in my bio and fill out the form for an injury consult with me, something like that, you know? And it kind of takes like, I've noticed as I've been practicing, I kind of do that where I'm, oh, I dropped it right here. So that's okay. You just erase it and try it again. And once you get used to like just spitting it out and like naturally that conversation is going to go in that direction, then it's going to be just so automatic, whether you're talking to somebody or you're on an Instagram story. Like say you see an interesting patient or you read an article, maybe a research article about something new, and you're like, oh, that could be a potential patient. I bet people don't know about that. So for around here, I would say, hey, do you have TMJ pain? Something like that. Because that's something I feel like people don't know that we even treat. Do you have TMJ pain? Wouldn't you like to wake up without pain in your jaw? And that's I kind of jumped down here. Like it doesn't have to be formal, but this is also the connection because it's wake up, right? Physical therapy can help you with that. And I already did the payoff. We already did get yeses. Let me tell you about my patient Kelly, who learned to do exercises to reduce her jaw pain. Click the link below to fill out a form and learn more. It could be, you can kind of even like combine them. It doesn't have to be set apart. But once you get a little more like solid in what all it is, I think it'll be a little bit more flowy. But yeah, so that's your ad anatomy, just a little tool for y'all.
Thank you.
Yeah. Does that make sense? Do you feel like that's applicable?
Yeah.
Great. Yeah. Can I answer any questions on it?
I just have a comment about how it ties into sales. Very similar, just a different twist, you know?
Yeah.
Because it is essentially a sales pitch, but in the form of an ad, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I just think it's really unique how all of this ties together, but in a different way to cast the appropriate vision for the appropriate time. So, yeah, no, very helpful.
Yeah. You can be a really great clinician, but a very bad salesman, and you're not going to get anybody to or through the door. Yeah. Yep. Awesome. Well, yeah, I hope this helps. And then we'll have a call in 2 weeks about what will we have it about, Shania? Sales.
Yeah, sales, and we're going to delve a little bit deeper. So instead of just the persuasion, we'll get into the next day topic, which I'm still refining and I'll go over with you a little bit more. But just kind of taking it to the next level, I think to maybe touching on some objections, because I feel like that is sometimes hard to deal with on the spot, because then you want to just like spew all the knowledge. That's why I
Yeah.
asked you today is like, I'm so like, want to be like, I did this and I did this and I helped this person. It's like, they don't care. Like,
They don't care.
you know? So,
I
but
care. I want to hear all about y'all, but like in reality, when you're talking to me,
yeah.
I don't care.
No, they want to know about them and like what they're going to be
Mhm.
able to do. So yeah, I think we'll touch on that a little bit and I'll refine that in the next few weeks. And Kelly, you and I will go over it too.
Awesome. Thanks for hopping on, Carrie. I'll stop this
Thank
recording.
you.